Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this Facebook Live. Lisa, Scott,
Chef Dillon.
Chef Dillon.
Dillon.
In case it says WDAY Chef. It's kind of hard to get.
It's falling apart. It was,
Poked in the eye.
okay this morning, but
We're gonna fix
it turns out a paper chef hat that is actually consisting of 5 different pieces of paper doesn't hold up too well.
I thought you were doing a craft project. He was sitting by our desk
He
this
was.
morning with the scissors and paper. Okay, we're going to get to that in just a minute, what he was doing this morning. I just want to remind you, of course, we have this Facebook Live every weekday morning, sometime between 8 and 9. You can watch it anytime later on your feed, but also on your favorite podcast platform. Just go to InForum.com/podcast to find this. And of course, it's also on our InForum YouTube channel as
right.
well. So,
All right, so Dylan, tell us why you're wearing
Why?
a chef hat.
Well, because of course I am WDAY chef. Lydia, stop laughing.
she's still waiting for breakfast. That's what she said. Chef Dillon.
Oh man.
This morning I cooked outside, and of course it's cold outside, and I cooked some eggs, some gourmet breakfast ham. We had coffee, we had tea, we had a banana, and I mean I offered it to you guys, but nobody actually wanted to eat it.
And by cook he means froze.
Freeze. It was all everything was frozen. Of course, it's North Dakota.
Cold
I called
weather
it the North,
experiments.
the North Dakota special.
Love it.
At the WDAY Snow Kitchen.
Yeah, it was
So,
fun though.
It was a lot of fun.
And it kind of put into perspective,
Yeah.
the cold mornings we've been having, it froze those eggs,
Yep,
it froze
yep,
the ham
yep.
you had, or whatever else you had,
Yeah.
the banana was
and
frozen.
I only had the eggs outside for like 10 or 15 minutes, right like before the hits. And the
Yeah.
first time we actually did the egg thing in the skillet or in the cast iron pan, I was not expecting the egg to actually be frozen. Like I opened it up on air, I was like, oh no, this is actually frozen. And that's how quickly it froze. Like 15 minutes outside, just regular eggs, they froze, which I thought was pretty crazy. And then, yeah, it was a fun experiment, a fun morning.
Yeah,
A
it was.
good way to start the month of February.
Yeah,
Besides,
it's
of course,
February
the cold.
1st. Happy February 1st.
Yeah, the cold, of course, does
Yeah.
suck, but I'd have some fun on first news with it.
Yeah,
So.
you
So
have
what can we expect for the rest of February 1st?
today.
Today. What can
Oh,
expect
what
for
are we
the
doing?
rest of-
I was very confused.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Oh, cold weather. I'm sorry. I'm still in chef mode, not in weather mode. But now we'll shift gears into weather mode here.
Oh, Mr. I've asked, what will we have for lunch or
Well,
supper?
you
Maybe
know-
I should have kept it.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I don't know. Maybe I'll cook up some spaghetti and freeze it or something. I've seen that on the internet.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that's what we'll do.
We'll have more cold days.
Yeah, we will.
can
We
do
will.
it.
Maybe. Who knows? Today, a wind and chill advisory for some spots until noon. 10 a.m. I think. It's noon or 10 a.m. Partly sunny, not as cold as yesterday. Temperatures warming up to above 0, probably close to double digits.
Wow.
Right now we're at 0 degrees right now in Fargo, and we'll warm on up throughout the day, close to upper single digits, and then overnight tonight, going into tomorrow, cold front will sweep on through, wind will pick up, and we're right back down to.
The negatives.
Yep, you said it. It's not gonna be good. A very cold day tomorrow. A couple of flurries. Could get a little bit of blowing snow. It's a possibility for tomorrow morning. And then cold through Friday. Friday morning looks awful cold again. Probably 20 below for some spots in the morning. And then the weekend doesn't look all too bad. And the rest of the forecast doesn't look all too bad either after that. So a warmer-ish day today. A couple cold days tomorrow and Friday. And then warmer by the weekend. And it looks to stay here for at least a little while. So
All right.
there you go.
And what movie have you been assigned to watch?
The Groundhog Day movie.
He has
Because
not watched
tomorrow
it
is
yet.
Groundhog Day.
We're like quoting Bill Murray, so tomorrow's Groundhog's Day.
Yeah, we're gonna have some fun stuff. I'm gonna try and memorize some quotes. See if I can pull them off on air.
There you go.
It's gonna be a fun morning. So join us
Sneak
tomorrow
peek.
morning.
There you go.
Five-
Yep.
Yeah, sneak peek.
Thanks, Dylan. Appreciate it. All right, let's dive into some local headlines. This is a big one. City of Grand Forks City Council says they're not likely going to move forward with that controversial Fufeng plant. Comes after a U.S. Air Force representative actually wrote in and said that the plant would be a significant threat to national security. Senators John Hoeven and Kevin Kramer addressed the media yesterday, and they're calling on the city to discontinue that wet corn mill plant project. Grand Forks City Mayor Brandon Bochensky agreed to the request to stop the project pending the city council's approval. Bochensky went on to say that it's a relief to have an answer at the federal level with this, and then the city council is going to be voting on this whole thing, the future of the project, which is likely to be stopped at their next city council meeting. That's going to happen this coming Monday at 5:30.
This next story just breaks my heart as a mom. I think this is a scary story for a lot of people. A Fargo elementary school has extra counselors at the ready, and therapists are encouraging parents to have those difficult conversations with their children after an 11-year-old Fargo boy died by suicide late last week. Fargo School District officials are confirming it was a 5th grader in the district. They say they've launched their counseling services for student and staff impacted by this. The tragic death, of course, has sparked a lot of emotions, and as many adults worried for their children in their own lives. I know our team talked to some therapists, and you can find more information online as well. So it's just kind of a scary, devastating story. Of course, they have counselors on hand at that school, but with a community like the Fargo-Moorhead area, Fargo-Moorhead, West Fargo, the story kind of spreads, and I know a lot of kids will be talking about it sooner than you think, and so it's just important for parents to be aware and be ready to have those difficult conversations.
Yeah, and if you know someone that is struggling, you can always reach out to the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988 as well. So just another resource to hopefully help someone who's struggling. All right, today the Osgood Hornbachers is back up and running after a fire broke out in its bakery due to problems with a fryer. It is the latest in a story that we broke for you on on WDAY yesterday. Firefighters were called out to 45th Street South just after 5:30 yesterday evening. A battalion chief tells us that they were able to knock out that fire pretty quickly, but there is an estimated $20,000 of damage done. The store did reopen at 6 o'clock this morning, so if you do need some stuff, you can make your way there.
North Dakota lawmakers have passed a bill that addresses the state's ethics laws. Senate Bill 2048, advanced by the Ethics Commission for several requested changes, including a proposed but then deleted expansion to include nearly 9,000 more state employees under its authority. The bill's changes include extending the time frame to notify an accused person of an ethics complaint, and also adding criteria for those who can make those complaints as well. The bill passed with no discussion.
All right, today, I didn't know about this, but it's National Unclaimed Property Day, which is something I had no idea existed. But the state of North Dakota is reminding you to check for unclaimed cash that belongs to you.
Did you check?
I've not yet. But
I did. I did not know this was a thing either, but when I came in this morning, I was like, maybe I have some unclaimed.
Might as well.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah, it's kind of like a mini lottery winning.
Yeah, right?
Money you didn't expect. But it is interesting. If you want to check if you have some unclaimed property or money, you can do that by going to unclaimedproperty.nd.gov, or you can do a national search at missingmoney.com. So interesting stuff.
Apparently 1 in 7 North Dakotans have some
Yeah.
unclaimed cash or property. So
Which seems like a
could
high
be
number to
I
me.
agree. So not us though. Today marks the beginning of Black History Month in the U.S. The month of February has been federally recognized as Black History Month since 1976. The month, of course, is meant to honor the contributions and achievements of Black people in history. There will be a handful of events, of course, here in our own communities, but of course across the country as well. And we'll try to keep you updated so you can take part in many of those events.
Yes, that's for sure. Former Minnesota Republican Senator David Durenburger has died. He won his seat in 1978 as part of what is known as the Minnesota Massacre. That was an event that gave Republicans unexpected control of Minnesota's 2 U.S. Senate seats, along with the governor's office. Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar, who holds Durenburger's former seat, says he was a true public servant who personally showed her much kindness when she was first elected in 2006. He did die at his home in St. Paul and was 88 years old.
A big story we've been tracking for you. Today, the family of Tyre Nichols will lay him to rest. The 29-year-old's death, of course, shocked the nation after the release of video showing several Memphis police officers violently beating him during a traffic stop. The incident has sparked conversations surrounding police reform across the nation. We know several people have lost their jobs already, and several officers are now facing charges as well. So still a very ongoing investigation, even as the funeral is happening today.
Right now, Mpox, formerly known as monkeypox, is actually almost gone from the U.S. This is something that seemed to spark, a lot of concern last year. The federal government is now actually saying that the disease is pretty much completely gone. Over the last month, the average number of those new cases reported to the CDC has hovered in just the single digits. As I was saying, since last year, more than 30,000 people in the U.S. actually got monkeypox, or what's called Mpox now, and 23 people actually died. So good news that it's not affecting as many people now.
Okay, Hot Mic with Dom Izzo on today from 9 to 11 on WDAY Extra, also InForum.com. A big story. We talk about Cody Mauch all the time, very excited about him. He's preparing for the draft, and you were actually telling me a little bit more, and although I'm the one talking about it now, he'll be playing in the Senior Bowl this weekend.
Yeah, it's on Saturday, and if you don't know, it's a lot of college players. They get invited to one kind of final game to showcase their skills, their talents, work with NFL coaches, and it's kind of part of that pre-draft process. And Cody is expected to go fairly high in the draft as an offensive lineman, so an exciting time for him and NDSU. And I
Be
know
another pro Bison.
that's for sure, because we know Cordell Volson was on the Bengals, or is on the Bengals. He had played in last week's AFC Championship, or AFC Championship
Conference
game.
Championship, yeah.
And so exciting time for Cody and the team.
Can we talk about one other small sports story that happened today?
Go for it.
Tom Brady.
Yes, he retired just about a half hour ago. Put a video on Twitter saying he's retiring. You'll recall last offseason he did something similar, but this time he says it's for real. He's 45 years old, probably widely regarded as the best quarterback of all time. So the league will be different without him, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I hope he changes his mind. A lot of, I know he's
We'll
like,
see.
he says he's not going to change his mind, and he did it when, in fact, I think I was listening to it. He's like, I did the long, sappy, whole video message last year. This time or last time you retired. This time you just get this. I'm retiring. But a lot of times, pro players,
And there's been
they go back and forth.
Yeah, and there's been a ton of speculation about where he could play next year already. So if you leave the door open, you never know.
You never know. All right. Remember, I would imagine that Dom's going to talk about that as well on Hot Mic today. I want to remind you, of course, you can get that InForum.com subscription, a great deal going on right now. Your first 3 months, just 99 cents a month. You can follow Cody Mauch, Tom Brady information, all that sports news, but of course the weather and all of the local and national headlines that we just talked about.
Yeah, that's for sure. You can also get updates to all those stories throughout the day in our newscast. Our next one's at 11 o'clock. We also have a 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and 10 o'clock newscast with all your latest news. Also, join us again for First News tomorrow morning from 5 to 7 in the morning.
Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.